It has been 1 week since Florida State was screwed out of a college football playoff spot, and I think we're just about done ranting about it. I think I've gone through enough with you guys. I think we've talked about it. We've probably belabored the point. We've looked at it from several different angles. If you've missed any of that, obviously it's just all of the last week's content. Go check it out. But one angle we haven't really explored yet is moving forward. We've talked a lot about this from the ESPN angle, the ACC angle, the idea of ESPN employees then coming out and saying that this was wrong. We did the very raw, emotional thing on Sunday where we probably should have bleeped a little bit more than we did. But we looked at it from all of those angles, but we haven't really looked at going forward. And I think that's something that's really, really important to do. A couple of people have talked about that, not many, because it's so raw, it's so emotional, and some people aren't ready to move forward. So if that's you and you're not ready, bear with me just a couple of minutes. I'll rant a little bit if you just need a little bit more of that to get you through, because we're only a week away from what happened to us. But most of this is going to be kind of positive. Most of this is going to be looking ahead. I first want to show you a clip from Josh Pate. And let me tell you something. When I watched this clip, on Monday morning, he did it last Sunday night. When I watched this clip on Monday morning, I hated it, and I was pissed off, and I sent him some tweets that I probably shouldn't have. I was not thrilled with this. Commented in his YouTube comments. I was ticked off when I heard it. But some things have happened since Monday that we'll talk about in the Florida State world, and I hate to admit this, but I think Pate might have been right. Now, Pate's take on the whole thing was basically that Florida State did get screwed, but that Alabama deserved to be in. So he's very much being a politician. He's very much towing the line on this situation. And I can't agree with everything that Pate says on this. He later in the week went into condemning the way that the committee came to their decision, and I certainly do agree with that. But one thing I didn't agree with at the time and do agree with now is what Pate had to say about what this will do to Florida State going forward. Check that clip out now.
This is about to be a good thing for Florida State long term. It is not fun today, and I am not trying to cheer you up or turn that frown upside down or anything like that, but you mark my words, it is going to be a good thing long term for Florida State that they got left out of the playoff today. You're going to be able to package a ton of equity up from this. You're going to be able to convince your organization from now in the foreseeable future that the entire world is out to get you. It does wonders to bake in a bunker mentality into the culture of a program when you can sell kids on that, and you can sell staffers on that, and nutrition and strength and conditioning and recruiting and personnel. You sell all those folks on the idea that, hey, even our best 1 year wasn't good enough. So you know what in the future we're going to do? In the future, we're going to salt the earth entirely. We are going to lay waste to whoever lines up against us, and we're going to leave no doubt. Because if we leave it in the hands of a committee of people, you've seen what's going to happen. Mike Norvell doesn't even have to pretend. He doesn't have to do like Kirby did last year and convince his kids. Someone convinced Georgia or thought Georgia was going to go 7-5. People actually did screw Florida State this year.
What did he say? That bunker mentality. Now, some of you already know where I'm going with this, but you remember when the last time that Florida State had that bunker mentality, do you remember what was going on in Tallahassee? It was the Jameis stuff. The entire world was out to get us. Dan Wolken, all of the idiots, Pete Thamel, Darren Rovell, all of the idiots, Christine Brennan, all of the morons that are the national talking heads, Paul Feinbaum, Clay Travis, all of the idiots had a lot. Michelle Beadle, you can just list the names over. All of you are probably blocked by those people. I still am too. But we remember that, right? And how much do you think, as much as that was a black eye for the university, or however you want to look at that, how much do you think that 2013, that 2014 run had to do with that bunker mentality? How much of it do you think the team was able to embrace us against the world? The Marching Chiefs played shake it off when the Noles would win games. Shout out Taylor Swift. But beyond all of that, the school embraced it. The team embraced it. The players embraced it. And I think Pate's right. He talked about the nutritionists and the strength and conditioning and the recruiting and all the personnel. The only thing he didn't talk about was the aspect of it from name, image, and likeness. And we've implored you guys. We've begged you guys. We have asked over and over and over and over again for you to go sign up for the Battle's End. I've asked you to stop supporting me. I've asked you to stop watching my videos. I've asked you to stop being a Patreon, stop liking the tweets, stop doing all that stuff if you're not a Battle's End member first. Now, I certainly don't want everybody to just turn the video off at that point or unfollow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, but I do believe in that statement pretty strongly. Don't support me if you're not supporting our players first. When Saturday night happened and Florida State beat Louisville, we had about 1,500 Battle's End members, give or take. Right now, on Monday morning, we're just north of 4,500. A week has passed, and we have increased by 3,000 members. That is massive. The best week, obviously, in the collective's existence. And people want to know what they can do to make this wrong right. And there's really not a lot. The committee's not going to change their stance. ESPN's not going to continue to favor the SEC over the ACC. They're not going to just all of a sudden stop that. But how can you make a difference? Is it buying a Smack Talk t-shirt that talks crap about ESPN? Is it buying one of those clown t-shirts with Kirk Herbstreit's face on it? No, that doesn't help. Now, is it fun? Do you enjoy that? Sure, absolutely. I got no issues with it. But there is a legit, tangible way that you can help. And Florida State fans have responded in a phenomenal way. Stop sitting on the sideline and do what Pate says. Listen, our roster in 2023 was great. It was good enough to make the playoff. It was good enough to beat every single team we played. But you know what Pate said? Did you catch the end of it? We are no longer going to leave it in the hands of the committee. We will lay waste to this country. We will lay waste to college football. We will salt the earth. You know what that means? Salting the earth. When an army would go through and defeat an enemy, they would literally salt their entire, all their crops, all their fields, everywhere that they would try and build so that the land behind them was unusable. That old, almost biblical type reference, that utter destruction type reference is what Pate's talking about. And that's what the Battle's End is looking to do. That's what Florida State's roster needs to be. There needs to be no doubt. There's not, oh, well, they were just good enough, but we're not quite sure. No, we will lay waste to what's coming. And Florida State and the Battle's End needs you to help do it. 10,000 people or more will watch this video. I don't say that in a cocky way. I don't say that because I'm something. That's just who will watch it. I know it. And I need about 1,000 of you that haven't signed up yet to go join the Battle's End. They've got a goal of 5,500 by late December. There's a $500,000 match right now out there. An anonymous donor has stepped up and said, I will match up to $500,000 that is donated between now and I believe it's December 22nd. If I've got that date wrong, I'll put it in the description. But again, 10,000 plus people will watch this. I need about a tenth of you that aren't signed up to go sign up. If you are signed up, I need you to scroll through your contact list. I need you to find 3 people that you're friends with, your family with, who love the Noles and are sick about what happened. And I need you to tell them to put their $20 towards the Battle's End. Not towards a Smack Talk t-shirt, not towards an Orange Bowl t-shirt, not towards anything else, but the Battle's End. All right, let's move on. Sign up, message me if you have questions. You can email me, tj@doublefriesnoslaw.com. What's the other way that college football is worried right now? It's not just about the Battle's End, but we mentioned some of those people that probably many of you are still blocked by from the 2013, 2014, 2015 days. Barstool knows what's coming too. And this was a pretty entertaining clip, maybe a little bit more fun, not so serious. Trying to move faster through this video. Some of you complained about some of the other ones being 20 and 25 and 30 minutes long. But here's a very quick Barstool clip that we'll talk about for just a minute, and then we'll get out of here.
Florida State Twitter was already a toxic cesspool of anger forever. Is this like an origin story of them destroying the world? 5 years from now, I think this could be like the ooze that they touch and like mutates them into some super beast.
Don't forget, they were burning Deion Sanders' jersey a couple years ago because one recruit flipped. Now, I understand Travis Hunter obviously is a big time recruit, but that's how they handled that. Can you imagine how they are going to handle moving forward this? FSU Twitter, I feel like, has been around since the beginning.
Talking about the Noles. Yep. The Noles were the original Twitter fan base that would ruin your life. They were all over you if you said anything bad about Florida State. And they kind of went dormant for a little bit, and now they're back.
Now they're back. Listen, I certainly don't tweet like I did back in 2013, 2014, 2015. Some of you that have been around for a while can probably attest to that. But there are some that have taken my place, and they certainly do tweet like that. Some of the new rules make it a little harder to tweet like we used to back in the days. But man, this, all jokes aside, this has galvanized the fan base. And when you look at social media now, when you look at Twitter now, when you look at what people are saying, man, they're torn up and they're still going at it. And the Bama fans, and I've seen, Ohio State fans have been in my mentions for the last 2 days. Michigan fans, Washington, I don't know if Washington has any fans. Texas fans, Georgia fans, of course, Gators and Canes, Clemson fans, all over. When are you guys going to give it up? When are you going to give it a rest? I'm tired of reading about this. Buddy, you're going to be reading about it for a long time. This is a long offseason. And until we're in Dublin with game day there, ready to crack on Kirk Herbstreit and Reese Davis and all those guys while they're talking, booing as loud as we can, we're going to talk about it. And this is going to be something that lives on forever. But don't just talk about it. Make sure that you're a member at thebattlesend.com. Make sure that you're supporting our kids through NIL. Listen, you can run really, really easy numbers. Their goal of $5,500 and their lowest level of $19.93 a month. You can run some really, really quick numbers on what's 20 times 5,500 times 12 months out of the year. It starts to add up to a pretty healthy NIL budget, and that's if everyone gave it the lowest level. I know several hundreds and hundreds of people give it a much higher level than $20, but you can kind of see where that's going. You may say, oh, my $20 a month doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But I do know this. Your $20 a month annualized over 12 months, and then you telling 2 or 3 friends about it, and then tripling or quadrupling that makes a big difference. Those 3 friends telling 2 or 3 other people, getting one family member to join makes a big difference. Florida State's NIL is going to go to an absolute ridiculous place, and you need to sign up and you need to join now. Thebattlesend.com. Message me. Email again, tj@doublefriesnoslaw.com. If you have questions, happy to answer them. I've probably gotten 8 or 9 emails over the last week just asking questions about it, gotten several DMs about it, a few texts. I am more than happy to chat about this and more than happy to get to that 5,500 goal that the Battles End has. I appreciate you guys for watching. We'll have a live show tonight, looking like 6 p.m., kind of our normal time. We'll talk about a bunch of recruiting and a bunch of other stuff that's going on this week. We may belabor the point a little bit more, give Richie a chance to get some stuff off his chest over the last week. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Go Noles.